Hello, Africa. Hello, Nigeria. Hello, the rest of the world. This is your boy, Dr. 96, aka The Realist. It is my pumping pleasure to be on here today to discuss another very interesting topic. Today, I just want to speak on the urgent need for the Southerners to be united, irrespective of what has separated us in the past. It is time that we get our place together and try to forgive one another. Because from the look of things, it is inevitable in order to rescue Nigeria, the Southerners must come together, most especially the major tribe in the south. The major tribe in the southern parts of Nigeria must be united. In essence, it is fundamental and it is imperative and it is necessary for the Yorubas and the Igbos to unite and forget the past grievances. And in doing this, that is the only way we can restore the glory of the southern part of the country. We've been allowed ourselves to be cheated, to be maltreated, despite huge resources which God has blessed the southern part of the country with. We know that the amalgamation of the northern and southern protectorate by the imperialists, the British colonial masters in 1914 was not done for the benefits of Nigeria and our people. Rather, it was done for the interest of the imperialists, that is, the British imperialists who found their way to Nigeria through the south, and the Arab Islamic jihadists who penetrated the northern part of the country. The amalgamation was done for the interest of those who enslave us in our own country. And that is the reason the independence we believe we got was nothing short of continuation of imperialism. And to prove this, we have a lot of instances to justify it. The Britain handed power over to the northerners, who are not the most sophisticated as at that time, who were not the most educated, who were not the most management oriented, who were not the most industrialist, but they handed over power to them because they are the weakest and they will be very easy to control and dictate for. And that is what we are still inheriting till tomorrow. The early civil war in Nigeria after independence was initially orchestrated and designed to take place because of the arrangements made by our former imperialists. They know it is inevitable. The best way to divide people is to bring two people with different belief, with different way of life, with different ideology, with different upbringing, to force them to be united together under the disguise of unity. So, as I was speaking, however, let's call the Civil War what it is. In every conflict resolution, for conflict to be resolved properly, there shouldn't be a winner and there shouldn't be a vanquished. There shouldn't be a winner, there shouldn't be a loser. Irrespective of how strong one party might be in conflict or struggle, even the weaker party will still inflict some level of injury. I'm not denying the fact that the Igbos, they suffered a lot during the Civil War. Equally, the Yorubas too, they suffered. Myself, I lost an uncle who I never got to know. It is high time we buried the ashes. So it baffles me when I see young generation of Southerners who are still strongly attached to the discord between our fathers. Today, most of the wealthy people in the western part of the country, where I come from, the Yorubas, the Igbos are one of the richest people in Lagos, in Ogun State, in Oyo State, in Osun State, because of their business acumen. Myself, I was born a Yoruba. Both of my parents are Yoruba, but my parents were never tribalistic. They were not tribal-centered oriented person. As a result of the orientation I got from my parents, today my wife is an Igbo by origin. So what are we not saying? There are a lot of intertribal marriages. I think we new generation of Igbo and the Yorubas, which are the most populated ethnic group in this southern part of Nigeria, we need to start addressing the reasons why we must be together in order to defeat our common enemy. We are still struggling in our own country despite the enormous resources God has given us. Who controls the seaports in the west? They are the northerners. Who control the oil deposits and minerals in the south? They are the northerners. So what we're having in Nigeria is nothing to be addressed as independent, because we are not yet free, because we are not practicing true federalism. We are not practicing and reflecting modern democratic processes. In a situation where only one ethnic tribe is concentrated in the powers and affairs of the nation, that is completely unacceptable. Minister of Defense, Control General of Custom, Chief of Air Staffs, every security architect of the country is being handled by one ethnic group. Every avenue, every sector that the wealth of the nation depend on is almost controlled 90%, if not 100%, by one ethnic tribe. Is that a democracy? Is that an independence? And here in the South, we keep on lingering to civil war that has ended more than 50 years ago. We need to forgive ourselves. As I always say, what Awolowo and Ojukwu had is their own personal issue. Every human, directly or indirectly, is self-centered. Everyone is just looking for a smooth landed place. So if we should continue like this, it will be a perpetual slavery. Our fathers have gone and they were all slaves in their own land. Now our generation is advancing. We are nothing short of slaves. How many northerners are suffering doing casual jobs in Europe, America, and Canada? We the southerners, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Edos, the Jos, the Ishekiri, the Ishans, and the rest, we are the one struggling through education to come to the developed part of the world to better our lives. The other people who control the wealth of the nation, their children come here to come and lavish money. They are coming here to come and live like kings and queens. But because of the poverty that dominated the South, and average Southerners find its way to abroad to better the lot of his family he left behind. For how long are we going to abound in sin and expect grace to fall on us? For how long are we going to criticize ourselves and expect freedom to come? For how long shall we continue to hate ourselves and expect the blessings of God to permeate our environment? These people, they are a common enemy. Today, a candidate will come from the north. If Yoruba does not support him, the Igbos will support him, and at the end of the day, they will carry the day. We should stop this self-hate. One of my best friends is a man from the eastern part of the country. One of my greatest confidants is a man from the eastern part of the country, because I never receive any wrong doctrine or any false doctrine from my parents. I'm a Yoruba, my wife is an Igbo. What do I tell my son? Should I tell my son not to associate with Igbo? being clever as he is, he will ask me, Dad, if you don't want me to associate with Igbo, why do you marry an Igbo woman? I think those those youths among the Igbos and the Yorubas who are not yet free in their mind, those who are still attached to custom and tradition of self-hate, bigotry, should please desist. The Igbos and the Yorubas are the majority in the South. And if the two majority group in a particular region do not agree, then how do we coordinate and harness the minorities among us to have a common vision and to have a common value so that we can channel our energy and strength to deliver ourselves? This is necessary for the sake of next generation. My generation, I and you watching me, wherever you are, wherever you are in the world, if you are from the southern part of the country, you should understand what I'm saying. You should understand what I'm soliciting for. Even if we're in the first world countries, we are not fully regarded as human beings. We are not fully respected. Do we want our next generation, our children, to come and suffer the same fate? If yes is your answer, if you don't want your next generation to come and be perpetual slave in another man's land, you should have reason to educate one or two people from your tribe. You should educate your kinsmen, and let us see reasons to find a common ground, to be united and to defeat those who feel that there can never be peace among us. This is just as the Spirit is leading me. The South needs to be united. In unity, we the Southerners, we can fight our common enemies. We can defeat our external enemies. And we could also defeat our internal enemies. That is, those saboteurs among us who are selling us, who are jeopardizing our interests for their own selfish gain. We can fish them out and defeat and destroy them. So the Igbos and the Yorubas, as well as all other ethnic groups represented in the South, it is high time we have a common voice and a common agenda. This is just my own advice. This is just my own opinion. Thank you for listening. Once again, it is your boy, Dr. 96, aka The Realist. Let us be real in the South. Let us bury the hatchet and turn an olive branch. Let us maintain peace for us to defeat our common enemies. God bless you. Peace and love.